Hello and welcome back to another episode of the Mystic Junkies podcast, the history of mystery comedy show. We're not experts, we're just a little crazy and obsessed.
Spurts. We're spurts.
We're spurts.
Just the spurts.
We're just the spurts.
Trying to find the X's.
I don't need that. I don't need to find
I
the
don't
X's.
I don't want to
I
find
don't
the
need
X's
that.
either. No, never mind. My bad. Those
Not for me. Not for me.
Not for me either. No more spurting.
Okay.
No more
All right,
X's.
grab a drink and a joint because you're going to need one. And let's dive in.
Gummies won't work. It won't last that long.
Yeah. Time your gummies up.
Couple shrooms, maybe.
But we're getting into Odin. Odin. So many different.
The Allfather.
The Allfather.
Yeah, good old Odin, man.
Let's dive into it.
So, he's known by over like 200 different names.
Yep, 350.
Yeah, if not more. They're just like, we don't know them all. There's just a lot across the globe. And he's one of the gods that have been known with like the most encompassing, he's known for wisdom, healing, royalty, knowledge, war, battle, victory, poetry,
Ecstasy.
sorcery,
One of the greatest
frenzy.
magicians.
He's the founder of the runic alphabet.
Yeah.
Like, this man did so many things.
A little greedy.
Yeah.
He's a busy guy.
Well, I mean, he's the Norse god. I mean, you got to think too. Like, the more I went into this, like, God, these Vikings, they were fucking drunk all the time.
Yes, they were.
they were on some drugs, man.
Mushrooms.
They could.
They did a lot of mushrooms.
Yeah, did a lot of mushrooms. They
Yeah.
were tripping out with some of the stories that came up, like from where Odin. See, I was more because we've all known of Odin, I guess, from school about
He's also in like
at least
the
basics.
Marvel movies with Thor.
And then now definitely
yeah,
with
funny.
Marvel
Oh,
movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've given a lot of the culture to it, but at the same point, I never really knew where Odin came from, which that was where I really got like wrapped up in. So let's walk through how Odin became Odin.
Okay.
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah,
That's fun.
So since the dawn of time, there were two realms. One was like this misty water realm. Another one was this fiery, like, hellbound realm kind of deal. And then in between there was this void, So in the void was where the first giant was made. Finally,
Right.
Finally.
That's where LeBron came from?
Yep.
Shaq.
All right.
So the water and the fire came together and made the first Jotun, or giant, and it was named Ymir. And this giant also, and this is where I'm saying these guys were drunk as fuck. Like,
Yeah.
also next to him was this giant cow. That was, a giant cow that he nestled on and suckled upon and gave him nourishment.
Odin was Paul Bunyan?
That's what it
No,
said.
not yet. No, this wasn't Odin.
Not there yet?
Odin's not even born yet.
Okay.
No, Odin's not born yet.
right.
No, this is the story of how Odin even became a thing, bro.
Every time you say the word suckle, it kind of makes
I
me know,
suckle. Suckle.
Stop.
Use the lips. Use the lips. That'll be a fucking clip right there. All right.
So, the first giant in between these realms is suckling on a cow's teeth. And then what ended up? Oh, the cow. There we go. Yeah. From the sweat of the giant came became more giants. So all the sweat from this giant, that's how the giants became a thing.
Sweat. So the
From
first giant
the first
sweated
giant
more giants.
sweated
Sweat
more
giants.
giants.
Okay.
Yeah, and then the cow licked the ice and the salt from the ice, and the cow ended up making the first icer god known as Burry.
Barry.
Good old Barry. No, Burry. Burry.
Oh, like
Birdie.
bird.
Good old Barry.
Because it was
Burry.
They were real
ice
creative.
cold.
They were
All
real
right.
creative.
Okay.
Yeah. So he had a son who married Jotun, the giant, and gave birth to 3 sons.
Right.
This one of the sons was Odin.
Okay.
So Odin is the son of the giant, the first giant,
Right.
and was which I find weird for some reason. I didn't get too far into that. Odin and his brothers slayed Ymir, the first giant, the father. Yeah, killed his father.
Pause you for a second. This sounds almost identical to Zeus. It
Probably
does.
is.
It really does. When we
No,
covered
it's very close.
when we covered Zeus, it was like the Titans.
Yep.
Titans, giants.
Giants, same thing,
fucking
same
All
fucking thing, man.
Keep it moving.
Keep it moving. So,
But Odin is older than Zeus. Like he came along in centuries before Zeus,
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
So, all right. So then, once they killed Ymir and they slit him open, the blood poured from this first giant, and the great cow drowned. No, it drowned the great cow.
The blood did.
The blood
From the
from
giant.
Ymir, the giant, the
Right.
first giant,
Okay.
killed by Odin and his brothers. It drowned the cow, and everybody except for I think 2 of the giants, and then those 2 giants went on to repopulate the giant world.
With their sweat.
Right?
Sweat.
They just started working out.
They
a
really
lot.
didn't get into that. They didn't get into that. I don't know if they had to have sex or they just sweated.
They just sweat a lot.
everywhere they went, and they
Yeah.
just like, dropping giants.
Dropping giants
Giants
out their
left and right.
pores.
Exactly.
Ah,
Yeah. Okay. So, like I said, a lot of drugs going on back there. So, this was one of my favorites. Odin and his brothers took the body, created the earth. Then the flesh to make the soil, and the bones, the bones for the mountains, and the teeth were the stones and boulders. Yeah, duh.
That makes
You know,
sense.
yeah.
That makes a lot of
The
sense.
world
And the
is a
skull.
mirror.
Totally.
Total sense.
Yeah, I know. And then the skull was used for the sky, and it created. It was used for the sky, and then the sparks of the realm of fire that we talked about in the beginning were the stars, the sun, and the moon.
Okay.
Yeah, I know it's hard to find. I know it's getting crazier.
So
Okay.
now we're saying that God didn't create the world, but
Odin.
Okay.
Yeah, Odin is the All-Father, bruh.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and so he created the race of elves, light elves and dark elves.
Yes. I love
Light
that.
elves
That's
were on.
fun.
Yeah, the light elves were up in the realm of them, which they helped him out in all their godly endeavors, and then the dark elves were deep beneath the earth, doing
In
Shady
darkness.
shit.
doing darkness crap. Yeah.
Shady.
dark stuff.
But
Doing
fucking
that
and
dark stuff,
doing weird shit.
doing all
Doing
that
the
stuff
dark
you ain't
stuff.
supposed to do.
Doing the
Drugs.
lights. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the things you do in the dark.
Yeah. They were suckling, but you
they
what? They were suckling.
Whose titties? You never knew. You never knew.
Sounds
whose
like they
titties.
were having fun.
Yeah, they were. They were having a blast.
The Hobbit, they were dwarves, right? It was the dwarves that were the underworld.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Underground.
They call them
In their
elves.
mountains.
And so, he then after that, he's like, "What else are we gonna do? Let's go ahead and make some sprites and some spirits and some animals." So they created all those, and they're like, "All right, now what are we gonna do? Oh, let's create Asgard. We're gonna go up there and look upon all of this cool." Well, actually, no, the humans came next. My bad. The humans came next because Odin and his brothers decided that now that we made all this really cool shit, someone needs to worship us.
Yeah.
Yep.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, right. Sounds about right.
Yeah.
So then they created Asgard. They went all the way up there, and they spied on us for eternity, I guess. Not
Are they
eternity.
spying on us
until
right now?
Ragnarok,
Mount Olympus.
Oh.
which is another. Yeah, yeah. Mount Olympus,
Essentially.
pretty much.
Yeah.
In retrospect, yeah. So and then Odin married Frigg, which was
What a name.
Good old Frigg.
Good old Frigg. That little sexy bitch.
She was so hot.
So hot, but she also
How
gets
come that name didn't catch on? I mean, it was the queen of the god.
It's a
I mean, you
beautiful
would have thought there'd have been a
four-letter.
lot of frig.
Frigg. Yeah, Frigg.
A lot of friggin'.
Friggin'
Frig.
fucking Frigg. Yeah.
Fucking Frigg.
Fucking Frigg, man.
Fucking frig.
Well, good old fucking
Frig fucking.
good old fucking Frigg was could see everything, but would tell nothing.
bitch.
I like that. No, I like that.
She was the goddess, right?
She was the
That's-
goddess. Yeah, she was his.
That's a ride or
wife.
die right there.
Yep.
Sees
It's like I
everything,
saw it
says
all, but
no
I ain't
shit.
telling you
But
shit.
didn't Odin have like a single eye? In his...
Oh, we're getting to the eye.
Oh, okay.
We're getting to the eye. The eye's next.
Okay.
We're getting
The
close.
giant came in his eye. That's why.
Blinded him.
And then came Athena? No, that's different.
Okay.
So he had a lot of sons. Unknown number of sons, supposedly.
I thought you only had 2.
No, supposedly he was a frisky little fucker.
That's
Very
him and
Zeus
Nick
like.
Cage.
Very, yeah.
All the gods were that way. Just
Yeah.
a bunch of.
But the main ones, like he had
So-
Thor, of course, we all know Thor,
Yeah.
good old god of thunder, and Balder, the god of light. Those were his favorites. And he also, I always thought that Loki was like his,
Brother.
but he wasn't his
No,
brother.
it
He was
must
his
be his son.
blood brother. He was his blood brother, from what I
I
found.
thought Loki was Thor's brother.
Well,
Well,
dude, that's what
like,
fucking
but
by
Marvel
different
says.
mothers, right?
No, it's an adopted son. It's like an adopted.
It's an adopted, not an
From-
adopted son. Supposedly, so Odin took, he was watching, because he's spying, right? And he can see everything, humans, giants,
little
everybody.
peeping Tom.
Yeah, little peeping Tom up there. Fucking, and he sees Loki as one of the giants. He was that, he was really charismatic, trickster, really liked him.
Yeah.
And went down, and pretty much they became friends. They then became, let's be brothers. And they became blood brothers. They bound themselves by blood.
Thor and Loki.
No.
Odin and Loki.
Odin and Loki, supposedly.
Oh.
Odin and Loki, supposedly.
They became homies.
Yeah, they became homies and blood brothers.
Blood
and
homies.
swore, yeah, right, and swore to be true to each other. And then Odin invited him to Asgard.
Oh, interesting.
Maybe I'm wrong with that, and maybe it is Thor, because it does sound, because Marvel did that shit. I don't know how much
It would
to
be
believe
weird.
in this shit.
It would be weird, like in that timeline, in the Marvel timeline, to be like, "Hey, this is my
Well-
best friend."
The whole time.
Here's what I understood was that he had most of his children by Frigg, but then he fucked around some too, just like Zeus did.
Yep.
And Thor was from another woman that he was not
Jorah.
married to.
Jorah.
Is that who it
That's
was?
Thor's mother.
Okay.
So, Odin would visit the Earth sometimes as this dapper, older, wise man. He'd go around looking like Gandalf, I guess, supposedly.
Yeah, Gandalf.
Yeah, is what I gathered. And he would go with 2 ravens. And one was Hugin and Moonin. Hugin and Moonin.
I like that.
Rocking around with
That's a good
Hugin
time.
and Moonin, baby.
That sounds like you do with Frigg on a Saturday.
And what they would do is the ravens would bring back information for Odin. And, stuff that...
You know what's funny? I feel like I'm being explained this to by a drunk Viking right now. It really does, like, it's
drunk
so
Viking,
believable.
explain it.
I can see you sitting around a campfire. You're like,
Come in,
Moonin.
come in with the Hugin and Moonin.
They
Let
sweat.
me tell you this story.
Where's the line?
So this is how Odin gets. Odin isn't really all powerful yet, though. So Odin, he went to the World Tree and he hung himself from it. Yeah, man, for like 9 days. He hung himself.
This guy's like emo.
I know, man.
Yeah.
He hung himself from this tree,
Gotta be
and
vulnerable.
supposedly got. This is how he gained the knowledge of the runic alphabet. And once again, that's why these people are all drunk. As hell. Like they're believing that their god hung himself from a tree, and he
Learn shit.
learned the runic alphabet.
That's meditating.
And
Yeah,
He
right.
meditated from a rope.
Yeah.
then, this runic alphabet.
Emo
Yeah, right.
meditation.
Yeah, true. Oh,
9 days.
asphyxiation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
he saw God, or the God of gods.
Oh.
Maybe.
It took a while. He's
maybe.
a tough guy.
9 days, yeah.
He's a tough guy. It'll take a while.
Crazy, right?
Yeah.
All right.
A lot of people think you have to study to do shit.
No, you
No.
just hang yourself from a
No.
closet and jack off.
Just some, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it took 9 days to come.
Right? He's like,
Do we
sitting
need
there
a
like,
trigger
ah.
warning at the beginning of
He
this
got bored.
episode?
He got bored, and that's when he
They
started
know by
jacking
now.
off. You know?
They know.
So so he gained this knowledge of runic magic now, and that is what made him pretty much the most powerful being in the cosmos.
Yes.
Can
Yeah.
I ask a question?
Of course.
Didn't he sacrifice his eye?
Oh, we're almost there. We're almost there. So
You've been
he start-
teasing us.
I
with
know,
this
man. I
eye
know
thing
this
for
eye
about
thing.
15 minutes.
I know, bro.
Give us the money shot.
Here's the reason why I care. he started spying again on one of these other giants. And this giant, he was in charge of this well of wisdom. And Odin was always after ultimate wisdom. Right. He wanted to know all. Everything. He's already the most powerful now. He wants to know everything now. Yeah. So he sees this giant in charge of the well of wisdom, and every day this giant drinks from the well of wisdom and knows all blah blah blah. Mm-hmm. So Odin's like, shit, let me go and hang out with him. So he goes down there, hangs out by the well.
Now I can't unsee it. I know.
I can't unsee it. Just put a fucking pint in his hand and a horn. It's happening.
So
this might be the greatest podcast we've ever done.
I know.
Keep it going, man.
So he goes down. All right, okay, yeah, okay, that's good. So he goes down to the well of wisdom, and this giant. All right, let me compose.
Pull it together. I can't unsee this. You're so
Careful,
right.
you're birthing giants right now.
I know. I am birthing giants. I can't do that.
You know, and I really thought, where are we really going to go with this? I was so worried about this.
I got you. I got you guys.
That's all the fucking
I got you. I'm on this shit. I'm on this shit. So he goes down there, talks to the giant, and he's like, okay, I would like to know everything. Can I drink from the well of wisdom?
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you would have to then give me what you have, the all-seeing vision. And this is where he plucks out his eye, tosses it in the well, and then drinks from the well, giving him the all-seeing vision, and now Odin all the wisdom.
It would have been funny if the giant was like,
Yeah, fooled ya.
not even that. You didn't do that at all. This is metaphorical.
I just wanted to look in your eyes, bro.
You're a little deranged, aren't you, Odin?
It's like, I know blood and murder and violence, but no, too much.
Yeah.
It's like, do you see what you did to my clean water?
It's very dirty now, yeah.
Really?
Gross.
And then right after, that's pretty much where he becomes the pinnacle, the ultimate god.
Yeah, because
now he's all-seeing and
wisdom.
the biggest power in the cosmos and the most wise. And then, a bunch of fucking drama happens in between, and then Ragnarok happens, ultimate war. And
what was Ragnarok again?
Ragnarok was pretty much the
doomsday,
doom of the gods.
So it's like Revelations, if you will. Almost.
Kinda, yeah. And there were multiple battles, and Odin ends up there's so much drama in between on how it actually happened. But bury one of the brothers dies or something like that, and then the revenge and blah blah blah. It's like another, Kardashians moment.
Yeah.
And then
As it is.
And then Ragnarok happens. The war starts and happens, and then Odin doesn't make it. He's eaten. He was eaten by the dread wolf Vanir, just a giant fucking wolf.
Which was in the Marvel tale. That was
the
Helen. Right,
I
Helen.
think so. Yeah.
Or it was her. I thought it was
Helen.
her.
Helen, and she had her dog.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, this is just a giant, a huge wolf ends up eating Odin, and then Odin's gone. Odin is no longer.
And is that the end of the religion, or is that?
No, I don't think it was the end of the religion. I don't know exactly how. I didn't go too much further after. I just wanted to hit Odin.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get all into Odin on that one.
That's so interesting.
And so that's the story of how Odin became Odin. I thought that was pretty dope.
That is
pretty
cool.
interesting.
Did you know Odin was a shapeshifter?
Yeah. Odin and Loki. Loki because
We're not talking about Loki, we're talking about Odin.
well, giants were shapeshifters.
Odin,
Okay. And
Odin
he came from the
He used
sweats.
to lay in a trance in one spot and go off and do other things in other places while he was laying
Like
in a
astral
trance.
projecting.
That's astral projecting, yeah.
They called him a shapeshifter.
Wow.
I call him shady.
That's more of
He was
like
the god that created everything. That doesn't surprise me.
You can do it all.
Yeah, I would
he
think.
should
I'm
be able to do
surprised
it
he
all.
could be eaten.
No, ditto, right? Well,
Well, I wanted to ask you if you read anything into the afterlife in that situation and then the parallel intercrossings of the two.
no, I didn't get too far into that. Of what happened afterwards?
Yeah, because I know there's something within their religion where they had an afterlife, and if you were an all-powerful god, you got eaten.
Valhalla was their
And,
afterlife.
Yeah, I feel
It
like
still
you'd still have
existed, I
some
think.
type
But
of
the thing
influence.
is that the Vikings kind of died off.
They died off.
Yeah,
which
so
their religion
kind of died off with them.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Kind of.
absolutely.
They kind of morphed, if you will.
True, of course.
You know,
I mean,
like-
most religions do. I mean, there's still people that believe in all this shit.
Yeah, if you go into like the origins of like when Britain started to develop, they were just mostly like it was like what, like paganism. They called it paganism, and then like Christianity, right? But really, it was just like Saxons and an ancient culture that they believed in all sorts of different
Well, that
things.
was it. Like the Vikings got pretty much taken to Christianity. Most of them, a lot of them.
Well, they lost. Yeah,
yeah, well,
they
yeah.
lost,
Yeah, they
And
didn't-
they were
didn't win.
absorbed by the Christians.
Yeah.
You know, but
It's the Scandinavian cultures and stuff like that. It's wild.
yeah, it is weird.
It just reminded me so much though of Zeus.
It is.
Like
It's very close.
you know what I mean? Though?
Very
like when we were
close.
doing Zeus, like there was a lot of the same things. Remember where he castrates his father?
Yeah.
And then like somehow that created like the earth and stuff like that. And
Yeah, he kills his dad.
Kronos, remember it was
yeah, Kronos. And then
yeah.
here we take over Admir's body, and now he's the earth and the sky and the moon.
Right.
Which is interesting, because from what I read, I read one particular passage was, is Zeus and Odin the same?
Same, yeah,
And they
I
went,
read that.
No, not at all, because Odin's was that belief was developed so much before Zeus, before that culture came about. But isn't it interesting that they had so many similarities?
So many.
Within how
Do you think they took it from it? Because, like, from my understanding, that religion is very similar to just there's a connection with nature, and then a lot of symbolism that represents a lot of different things. And again, like the religions that kind of go along with Zeus, there's all the drama and the interlanes of the human tendencies, and I think that's just the story.
I think it
of
more
that.
begs the question is like something. It's like the flood.
Yeah.
Like
That's kinda
something
where-
happened maybe, and then dumb people wrote about it.
Were aliens
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
fighting
Oh, wait.
all the time?
Or
You just said dumb people?
drunk people.
Oh, dumb drunk people.
Yeah, dumb drunk
so,
people.
here we go. Like, I totally forgot how they kept the humans safe from the giants. This one was my favorite.
Okay.
They made a fence.
Trump was right? Wow.
They made a fence
He knew his stuff.
Built a wall.
out of Admir's, out of the giants' eyebrows.
Just his eyebrows?
His eyebrows. Made a fence of from his eyebrows around the world to protect the humans from giants.
It's a children's tale.
Thus,
It is,
thus
man.
what holds together the flat Earth. It's all coming
All
together.
held together by
all coming
eyebrows,
together.
man.
Absolutely.
Giant eyebrows.
It feels like anytime like I read about stuff like this, it feels like the person who was telling it was just making it up on the spot. It was just like
Dude, I
that,
used
the
to-
fucking sweat. They were like sweating.
It's
used
like
to
an
do that.
it's like an improv story.
Seriously.
One up.
Dude, I used to sit down with my son when he was like 3 years old, and I would just be like, okay, pick 3 topics, and he would just come up with the most batshit that he was thinking, like dinosaurs, UFOs, cake, and then I'd be like, all right, and then I'd sit down and I'd just create a story with those 3 things, and
Right.
that would be his nighttime story, his bedtime story. That's what this shit
Now
reminds me of.
imagine if he grew up and
Believe-
utilized and made a belief system based off of that, and then you were like, "Oh no, that is not what that was supposed to be." That's so bad. I'm so sorry.
My bad, buddy.
I'm sorry, world. That's what.
the dinosaur cake debacle.
But it's so wild now, just in thinking about it, that when you mentioning that this all got eaten up by the Christian religion, so you had hundreds and hundreds of years, of these multiple God scenarios, that were developed and I think Asia had it. I think I think there was all that whole thing, and then at some point, of course, within the Christian religion was the point was this
destroy
guy
all
named
that.
Jesus came down here and set everybody straight. Okay,
Yeah.
but the deal was he did. I mean, to
a
what
degree.
happened to culture,
Right, right.
Isn't it wild that whatever anybody would want to believe Jesus was actually the Son of God, or just a man who was a great prophet or what's that?
Great carpenter.
Yeah, great carpenter, just a kick-ass
Right.
tradesman,
Maker of spirits.
whatever you want to believe. That culture took over all of, you know what I mean? All of this multi-god, so that even the non-Christian Judaism, Islam, all of them are one entity. Gods. They're not multiple gods. No multiple god religion has really flourished.
Nope.
What is that? Monotheism versus
Yes.
like monotheistic versus I forget the
Poly.
polytheistic.
Poly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, if you think about it like a product, though,
Yeah.
like if you were to try and water it down to like a product, it almost feels like a better product.
Yeah.
Like monotheistic.
It's easier.
It's less
to
confusing.
It's easier.
No,
Yeah.
it's
You're
sold-
like,
they sold it to the
it's
populace.
It's like
Easier to digest.
Yeah, it's like a better interface.
You're
Like
like,
that
hey, guys.
everybody. Does that make
It's like-
sense?
yeah, no,
Like,
most
I don't
definitely.
know.
It's,
I don't
it's
know.
like 1.0 versus 5.0.
Yeah.
Why did that become more believable to most people?
Because it was confusing, probably.
I think like
Then-
you listening to this fucking story.
Yeah, flies
The other
around
one's
on
like,
the
"Hey,
story.
sounds
I think
way
the
more
story."
believable, and I don't believe in any of it. And I'm like,
like, Jesus Christ.
that sounds ridiculous.
a giant was created with a giant cow and he's
Yeah,
sucking on his
yeah,
tit, Come on.
Yeah, if I had to choose,
Dude, I would
that's all
totally
I'm
take
saying.
a hippie coming down that could turn
Right.
water into wine
yeah.
and walk on some water
Yeah, it's
and
more
cared about the poor.
It's more real
know?
world. Yeah. So yeah, it's almost like an invention, if you will. It's funny.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
reinvented the wheel.
I still can't help believe that people just didn't hear it right. You know what I mean? I mean, really, something happened, and then it's like the telephone game.
Definitely.
You know, and then
Always.
by generations though, where it's like it's way worse than we could play a telephone game right here, and it would be like
It's
way
still fucking
way off
weird. Well, yeah,
what
exactly.
Edith said, and then what you said. You know what I mean?
Right.
Now imagine separating it by generations.
Oh, yeah.
And
yeah.
by
It gets real
generations,
sticky.
years,
Yeah,
and books upon books.
Yeah, and then different interpretations, and then different
Yeah.
versions, and then different languages.
Well,
And
that's
you're
the
like,
best,
whoa,
dude. Just like even Google Translator fucks up shit from Japan. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
like,
Yeah, yeah.
like, and vice versa.
Yeah.
you know, like trying to
In
do
the
that.
spiritual community, this guy is an individual that people spend a lot of time in theaters. Like people who are from the theater community quite enjoy this one deity because he is supposed to represent a strength within theater. Because there's this like I don't know, people say that if you're a theater person, you're overly flamboyant, you're not tough, you're not whatever. So I found just recently
yeah,
I just have seen that like there's a lot of people who come from the theater community who find just a general type of respectful teaching towards just the concept of Odin and that religion, because it's supposed to connect and create a sense of balance between things, and it also eliminates an absoluteness, because like to your point of the monotheistic perspective, it's an absolute entity. If you're
Yeah.
absolutely this way, you will absolutely be that way. This will absolutely happen. And these type of things, and kind of what he regarded around was there was less absoluteness and more interpretation, and you were kind of closer to a natural being of Earth. It's very similar to mysticism in that sense, because you're trying to connect yourself with your realm rather than an outside force that's controlling you and everything that you do. And if you don't do what this
Sky
one
God.
outside sky god tells
Yeah.
you to do, then you'll fail with everything. And I think it's much easier to create structure within people. So a monotheistic God can create structure, it can create direction,
like a
it can eliminate
dictator.
chaos, and it can dictate perspective and direction. And I think it caught on so much because as a majority, the population isn't necessarily a genius. And the ability to digest one thing is much easier than digesting all these different
bunch,
concepts
exactly.
to then try to like digest through me and
It's
figure out how I
confusing.
relate
That's the
to
other-
it.
that's what I'm
Also,
saying.
also
It's
not to
fucking confusing,
mention
man.
the impurity of Odin and Thor and
Uh-huh.
all these.
Oh,
different,
right.
Like you would never get the lesson of like of pureness from Zeus. That motherfucker was fucking everything that moved.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? And like, it's just like it's a different tale. You know what I mean? It's a different.
A tale as old as time.
But in a sense, this is kind of a crazy offshoot. But even within the Christian religion, you
Yeah.
had David,
Right,
And
right.
David was like God's favorite, right?
Right.
Well, David did horrible shit.
Yeah.
Just very much
Yeah.
like these gods did. He had pretty much absolute power.
Right.
And he cheated, he lied, he murdered, and he did all. I mean, when you talk about David, when I've heard preachers talk about David in church, they talk about it, I go, how are you using that guy as a role model?
He wasn't great.
No, not great.
He had
Not
better
great.
marketing. He has better marketing.
And they're only reading
than
from
any of the
one
other
I tell you what,
specific
he had a better sponsor.
Yes.
He definitely had a better
The
sponsor.
best
for
sponsor.
sure.
The best
The
sponsor.
best sponsor.
The number one.
Coca-Cola
Oh
of
yeah,
sponsors.
he had it. Big time. Big time.
Yeah, it's but you're right. He sent his own his best friend into battle so he could fuck his wife.
Correct.
Yeah, he sent him on the front lines.
So
David did?
Yes.
Sent a guy who was revered and should never have been on the front lines. He had a wife that David was like, I won't fuck that.
That's all he wanted. He wanted to fuck her.
Yeah, but there was no good lesson here either. He's he just you know what I mean? And he got away with it.
Yes.
Yeah, there was no God didn't punish him for it. None of that shit.
He'd do all this horrible
Good
shit
job,
and then
buddy.
just kind of go, I shouldn't have done that.
Chosen
Sorry.
one. Yeah.
Yeah.
God loves me.
Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, there's even biblical characters like him that look like these
Right.
gods from the.
It's like they outsourced the sin.
Yes.
God, you know what I mean? Before, I guess it's how do you idolize or worship somebody that's doing the same has the same problems as you, right? No, let's just make him pure and all seeing and all perfect, and everybody else will just outsource the fucking sin on
It's
everything
all
else.
your fault.
Yeah.
You little
it's
shits.
weird. It's,
You know?
it's like we were saying, it's like a better version.
Right.
It's a more palatable version for humans.
Exactly.
Yeah, wild.
It's like
Yes.
better
Yes.
connection.
Well, and you would think that
Easier download.
here all the gods pre-Christ coming
Right.
were all badasses.
Yeah.
They were all. It was
just
all.
thinking
War, kill.
Yeah, whoever's the biggest, meanest.
Yeah.
Rules the roost and do whatever the hell they want and justify it however they want.
And there comes Christ.
And here comes that goes. Yeah, that's the
Who brings in
the
compassion?
total.
Yeah.
The total
Yeah.
opposite of that.
And that's what everyone was screaming for inside, I'm sure.
You
So they're
know.
like, yes, way better than a God that is spiteful and wants to kill me all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Doesn't like me. Created
Absolutely.
me and is shunning me all the time.
Yeah, we're all it's
Yeah, man.
it's interesting.
Ideas evolving.
But what never, ever died was believe in me. That's will always be. It's always gonna be from many to one. You better freaking believe in me, or you're gonna this and this.
Or you're
you know?
gonna, yeah.
Or all this
Here's my
horrible shit's
list.
gonna
Yeah,
happen.
here's
Or
my
you'll
list.
be, you'll be
It's different for
punished.
every religion.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kind of have it's like tic-tac-toe. They have you at every angle.
Pretty
even
much.
if nothing if I chose not to believe in any god and and somebody was like, well, bad stuff's gonna happen to you, and then I live my whole life and I'm like, nothing bad happened, and they're like, well, wait till you die.
Yeah.
Because they're real bad shit's gonna happen to you then. And you're like, well,
how the hell
it's
do you
like
know,
you have
man?
me. It's a cat's game at every fucking angle. I can't win. They can't win. You know what I mean? It's just,
I was like, you're telling me I did shit so bad comparable to hang out with murderers and
Yeah,
all these other
exactly.
people. I did not do that much. I
Yeah.
did not do anything, actually. So
Right,
that would
right.
always
But
never...
because I don't
that's-
believe in one tiny little inkling of your
It's that
religion, you know?
absoluteness.
Well,
It's-
and that's that's like a whole nother podcast.
That's a totally
Oh, yeah.
different
But,
podcast.
Oh, yeah.
but,
Totally
but when it
another
comes down,
podcast.
that's one of my pet peeves with Christianity, which I am a Christian.
Yeah.
To a point. Yeah,
Right.
truly.
Yeah, there's a
you
line.
know, because the hell thing, I've never really, that just never made any sense to me. This absolute punishment forever and ever and ever and ever.
Yeah.
Because you said goddamn.
It
Because
doesn't
you
have fucked correlate.
Masturbated.
Yeah,
Yeah,
something
yeah.
like that, you know. And you know, there's this thing that you can get away with it till you're 13.
right.
That's true. But the day you turn 13, like all bets are off, man.
Oh, shit.
So you better
Jesus
pull
is watching.
You better pull some shit at
like
12.
1 year.
Yeah,
You got 1 year.
One day, not 1 year. You got a day.
What if you were like a chronic masturbator? Well, oh fuck! That
Probably
poor
were
little
at
kid.
12.
Not
Yeah.
That poor
outrage.
little kid.
Just
I
don't
know.
go to church.
It's
I know.
next day is fucking hellbound.
Yeah.
So,
Go to church.
Not to go along with the fact that our life span in the totality of the universe is like a fruit fly.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like
Straight.
a pow.
Exactly.
This
know.
impacts that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a little.
Something feels weird.
Yeah, that's a little.
But
yeah,
I
well,
think it's
that's a
important,
little like
too.
how do we keep you under? How do we get you to do the
Control.
good shit
Yes.
that we know we need you to do? And it
Yes.
goes kind of back to the podcast that we did on the Bubonic Plague, where you
Yeah.
said you need to give them something definitive,
Yeah.
even if it's not the truth,
Even if it's a lie.
to hold them together.
Hold
Something to
together.
believe in, man.
Yeah,
Society
Something to
forms
believe in.
against an enemy usually.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
It's wild.
And we're just breaking that apart.
Oh yeah.
You know, who would have thought that this podcast would have started the way it started, and we would have actually gotten to something?
Meaningful. We always bring them around.
I know.
Right the ship.
Coming around full circle.
I know you guys. I believe.
We're gonna get there someday.
That was good. That was good.
Yeah, I think we did it.
Where do they hear us?
Where they find
Find
Watch
us. Find us on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. Find us on our Podbean, but look at our link tree. That has all the information there. Listen to us on Spotify, iTunes. You can watch us on YouTube if you'd really like to.
One click away, baby.
One click away.
Share us.
Thank you guys for listening.
See you next time.
See ya.